Hi, I'm Mike. This is Ronan, the world's fattest beagle. Shelby, the most neurotic golden retriever on the planet. And Carter, my sweet, sweet boy who's got megaesophagus. The purpose of this video is there was some interest shown on the megaesophagus site pertaining to subcutaneous fluids and how to do this. I've been doing it now for about 8 months, and I felt I know enough about it that I'd be glad to show everybody how to do it. All of these supplies can be purchased through your local veterinarian. I purchased the Lactated Ringer, which is the saline, 1,000 ml bag of saline from the vet in bulk quantity, a dozen bags at a time. And the same with the IV sets. He supplies those as well, and the needles. Most states require a prescription for a needle, so it's much easier just to get it from the vet. As with anything, you always want to wash your hands before starting. Open the IV set. There's a couple tricks to this. One, you want to make sure that the shutoff valve is all the way down at the other end. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a mess. Shut it completely off. Lay that back on the table. You remove the cap and take the sharp pointed end. And the easiest way to do this, because these are pretty tight, is to use it like a screw. It's actually got two different diameter and depth grooves in it, so it'll work like a corkscrew. Put it right in the center and just corkscrew it in, using caution not to poke through the side of the bag. Now with Carter and his size, I use an 18 gauge 1.5 inch needle. Your vet can tell you what size needle you'll require. I cannot do that. Carter weighs about 120 pounds, and he's got thick skin and a lot of muscle. So the purpose of this is to get it underneath the skin and above the muscle. And to accomplish that with Carter, I need the 18 gauge 1.5 inch. So you remove the safety cap off the end of the needle. Remove the safety cap off the end of the IV set. Slide it on, and then there's a cap that has threads on it that locks onto the end of the needle. That's on. Now another thing Carter requires is, right now, ampicillin, due to he's had a bout of aspirated pneumonia for quite some time. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. Again, remove the safety cap, the needle. The nice thing about the ampicillin is that it is a under the skin injection, not muscular, like a lot of the antibiotics. So I can do it right along with the fluids. And he takes right at 5.5 ml for his size. All of the Lactated Ringer and saline, whatever your vet prescribes you use, have a injection port, which is this yellow button, which will allow you to stick a needle into the bag without puncturing the bag, and it'll self-seal. Now, for the sake of making sure we get everything mixed up good, I always pull it in and out a couple times. Remove the needle. Now, always remember to put the cap back on. I don't think I have to tell you, these are very, very sharp. Carter also requires famotidine. He takes 2 different antacids. The famotidine works quite well, but only in the injection form. It does not work very well for him in the standard mode. And again, if this is a route you would like to investigate, talk to your veterinarian. I can't give you any medical advice on that other than I buy these again as well in quantity and then buy the needles, and it's famotidine, and we get quite a few injections out of 1 bottle, and I usually buy 2 to 3 bottles at a time. Now, this goes under the skin as well, not into the muscle. The easiest way to do this, bear with me, I got to get the alcohol swab out. It's just like a person. You want to make sure that your animals are safe. Put a little alcohol on it, right where you're going to inject it at. You want to gather a handful of meat on the nape of the neck. And you never want to inject this way, up and down. You want to inject sideways. Now, that being said, this is said by experience. Be very careful not to run it through and into your thumb or your palm or your finger. I have done that. So, quick jab. And if you see, he flinched, but it's very quick. And that part is done. So we've got the famotidine injected, and it's complete. The other thing I'd like to comment on is that the IV sets and the syringes themselves, not the needles, we reuse multiple times. We replace a needle every time he's injected. And this was at the vet's instructions. You always need to, if you have any excess fluid in the bag, you always want to make sure you drain that off so where everything in the bag is clear. There's a sight line on the IV set, which is going to be very hard for you to see. What you want to do is squeeze just enough fluid in to get to that sight line. Then you want to have a cup or something available. Hold it over there and open the valve to get all the air purged. And you can actually squeeze the bag. There's no harm in it. The cat thinks the IV is a toy. Okay, so we've got all the air purged out of there. And remember, you always want to have that shutoff valve towards the green end. More air right there. There we go. Running nice and continuous. Now, I'm going to cap this up. And then this is for the sake of, we are not a veterinarian service, this is my makeshift IV hanger. Hanging on the curtain rod right behind our couch or sofa. And Carter this is our ritual. Sorry about that, buddy. Every evening we sit down and he jumps up here and we do our IV. So get that all set up back there. And if you overfill that, like I just managed to do, all you have to do is tip it up and squeeze on it. And squeeze some fluids back into the bag. It's that simple. If you overfill fill that and you can't see any space on it, what'll happen is you can't tell when you have it running low. Okay, so we have Carter's famotidine started. Now I'm going to start his subcutaneous fluids. And I give Carter 1 full bag, which again is 1,000 milliliters, I believe is the correct term. Your vet will know how much your pet requires based on their weight. I give him one of these every day. And you'll see a great big bump as the fluids go in. And you'll have Quasimodo the dog. But rest assured, just like any fluids, it'll absorb into their system. Carter is not capable of drinking anything. He's not had a drink since May of last year. Which has got to be very rough, since his brothers and Gary, not my cat, drink on a regular basis, and he can't. Now, this is, unfortunately, a bad spot to poke him. But, that being said, this is, for the sake of getting the IV started and running in a rapid mode, the best place to put it. You can also put it up around the nape of the neck or on the side. I don't like doing that. Anywhere you can get some skin in your hand, you don't want to do it on their legs. You want to keep it up on their back somewhere and make sure, again, that they're nice and wherever you're going to inject has been wiped and swabbed with alcohol. Remove the cap off of your 18 gauge, and for Carter's sake, 18 gauge 1.5" needle. And when you insert the needle, I've found that quick is better. If you just kind of poke it and push it, come on buddy, lay down. Poke it and push it, then there's a lot of discomfort that comes from that, and it's all about just getting it started. It was that quick. It's in and out, or in, and he just was like, well, hey, that hurt, but it only hurt for just a second. Now, he and I use this as Dad and Carter bonding time. Like we don't already have lots of that. I make sure that I put that up so that there's a nice straight line. And then I get him to put his head over here. Come on, buddy, put your head down the lap. And then I just pet his face and I stroke his ears. And keep him nice and comfortable while I'm doing it. And that's about it.